A woman on vacation, missing without a trace.
This case was a very, very complicated case.
Used us?
What went wrong?
A frantic search. A trail gone cold.
No one had seen her.
Is the investigation on track?
Hi, I'm Dennis Haley with the State Police.
Or are they chasing a ghost?
Key West Police Department, state your emergency.
Hello? My name is Mike Garvin. My wife Shirley's missing. I have no idea where she is.
Well, Key West Police Department called me and said that they had a lady reported missing, and they were concerned that something might have happened to her.
Haley heads to the Garvin's hotel to meet with fellow investigator Donnie Lee.
Thanks for coming out. What we got? We got a gentleman from Jacksonville named Mike Garvin who's reporting his wife missing.
I thought maybe that Michael Garvin and Shirley Garvin got into a fight. That was my initial thought.
We did a complete canvass of the hotel to make sure that she was nowhere in the hotel or any of the restaurants or bars.
We interviewed everyone at the hotel. Myself and the Key West Police Department conducted interviews of the desk clerk, the maids, everybody that worked at the hotel. We didn't find anyone that recalled seeing her.
When it comes to cracking cases, George Duker is one of the best in the business.
The first 24 to 48 hours are very critical in a missing persons investigation. Why is the person missing? Are they endangered? Were they abducted? Time is extremely important. The more time that goes by, the least likely you may find that person.
Shirley was last seen that morning by her husband, Mike, just before he ran out to fill her prescription.
I want you to take this very, very seriously. This is a matter of life or death.
You say she had high blood pressure?
Yeah, the gentleman said that she's taking blood pressure medication.
Without this medication, what would happen?
He said she got lightheaded, dizzy, along with some other medical problems she had.
Mr. Garvin was very concerned about Shirley's condition. With her high blood pressure, he was scared that she would be disorientated, and this was a very big concern of his and was a concern of ours as well.
Still pretty hard.
And if she got excited, if she overexerted herself, there's very much of a possibility of a stroke.
I would like to prescribe for you a new medication. It's called an... Okay.
The fact that Mrs. Garvin had this medical condition and was perhaps in need of medication certainly gave some urgency to the police to find her as quick as possible.
So we checked at the local hospitals, checked with the ambulances, nothing like that. We didn't find anything. So we wanted to get out there right away and circulate photographs of Shirley and start asking questions about Shirley.
They start putting together a profile of the missing woman.
Shirley Garvin was a Jacksonville socialite, wealthy, happily married. It seems strange that a mature woman would simply just disappear like this.
It seems the Garvins drove to Key West from their home in Jacksonville on the spur of the moment.
They had came to the Florida Keys years ago, and this was a place Shirley liked to come, and it was something she often talked about coming back to.
Key West is a tourist attraction. People go there for the bars, for the beach, for the partying, and someone could easily disappear there.
24 hours go by, and still no sign of Shirley. Soon, everyone on the island and a potential clue turns up.
A pair of sandals were found on the beach by someone who was out on the beach and notified the police department that they had found a pair of sandals in it that may have been related to this missing persons case.
Given the fact that Key West is a smaller island and the possibility of a person missing may have drowned, that's something that they need to look at.
When we received a call that there were sandals found on the beach, I was concerned that maybe Shirley went to the beach, took her shoes off, and just walked right out in the water. And I thought right then that maybe we might find her floating somewhere in the water.
To walk from the Quality Inn over to the beach here would be a little over a mile, but a lot of people do it every day. You see walkers and joggers, bicyclists here every day, morning, noon, and night. And that wouldn't be that unusual. We have a boat searching the coastline. We also have dogs searching the beach, see if we can pick up a track, a scent on Shirley, but so far nothing.
We contacted the Sheriff's Department, and we had a helicopter fly over the north end to see if possibility if she went into the water. And no luck there. There's beach and the north end of the island closest to the hotel to see maybe possibly she walked over there and maybe went out into the water.
Did Shirley go for a swim and not make it out of the water?
In January, the water's cold. So, you know, she went in the water thinking it was going to be warm and got cramps. So there's always that possibility.
There's another bleak scenario.
In my experience, suicide is one possibility. I have seen people commit suicide in a variety of ways. Simply walking into the water and drowning is one of them.
Maybe Shirley is in the Atlantic Ocean somewhere. Or are things in Key West not as they appear?
It is extremely important for investigators in this to look for physical evidence as quickly as possible.
Yet only one clue turns up.
A pair of sandals found on the beach. Shirley Garvin could have been a victim of suicide, simply walking into the water.
Was Shirley depressed or upset? It's critical to get a sense of her mood leading up to the trip.
There's always that possibility that possibly she committed suicide. That's one of the reasons we reached out to Shirley's cousin, who she was very close to. Everybody said Shirley was in a good mood. No one gave us any indication that Shirley was the kind of woman that was going to take her own life.
But relatives say Shirley didn't seem that happy with Mike lately.
It's kind of like my marriage. Seemed like a good idea at the time, but too bad I can't return him.
Mr. Garvin said they had a good marriage, but it was like any long-term marriage that they sort of had grown apart.
It just seems like there's no romance.
Perhaps she left on her own. Perhaps she found someone new and she left with that person.
A lot of people come to Key West and do things they wouldn't do in their own hometown. And Key West is considered a party town. It's considered Sin City. And I have seen where couples come down here and one of them gets drunk, gets intoxicated, and ends up going back to a hotel or a motel with somebody other than their husband or their wife.
Maybe Shirley was off having a fling.
Those questions were asked. If Shirley could have met somebody hooked, as they say, down in Key West.
I'm Dennis Haley with the state police. All right. We're working a case where a lady disappeared down here. I wonder if you might have seen this lady. See if she came into your bar.
She doesn't look familiar to me, but you might want to check with the other bartenders.
No one believed that was possible, but we did check with the bars downtown, and we did circulate her picture downtown and asked if anyone had seen her in there.
Got a picture over here. You recognize her?
I would recognize her if she was here. No.
All right. Thank you very much.
The investigation is starting to feel a search for a phantom.
There's nothing at the hospital. There's no leads developed out of our neighborhood canvas. And we couldn't find that anyone had actually saw Shirley while she's
while she's here.
Is it possible Shirley never made it to Key West in the first place?
People generally do leave a trail and a trace. It's rare that they will disappear without a trace. In this day and age, it's difficult to go totally undetected, either by the credit card records or by surveillance cameras.
It's another chat with Mike Garvin.
Mr. Garvin gave us a detailed account of their trip from Jacksonville, Florida to Key West. We knew that they had stopped at a number of places coming down. And we found from his credit card receipts that he purchased gas at an Amoco station in Carroll City.
But does his story hold water? Detective Lee drives to the gas station to find out.
Most ATMs or gas stations or convenience stores today have some type of surveillance system.
If Shirley did travel to Key West, she's got to be caught on tape somewhere.
We're conducting a missing persons investigation, and we know that the couple had stopped here. And I was wondering if you still had surveillance video.
Yes, we do.
Would you mind if we took a look at that?
Sure, that'd be fine. I'm sure where it is.
Okay.
Will there finally be a glimpse of Shirley?
Stop, hold it right there.
Days after Shirley Garvin disappeared, it's time to rethink the investigation. Did she vanish well before her husband reported her missing?
I believe that it's natural for police to draw conclusions and perhaps suspicions when the story you're receiving just doesn't make sense. In order to verify the story that Mr. Garvin gave, police needed to check credit card records, where they may have stopped for gas, for refreshments, for meals.
It's about 500 miles from the Garvin's home in Jacksonville to Key West, and Mike's credit card receipts show a pit stop about halfway. Luckily, the convenience store still has its surveillance tape from that day.
That's the first tape. And Mr. Garvin went into some detail about how he and Shirley both went into the store, both went to the bathroom, purchased something to eat and drink. There's Mr. Garvin coming into the store, and he'll go to the coffee bar and he'll purchase coffee.
Did you see that Shirley never enters the store, never purchases anything, never goes to the bathroom? And we found it very unusual that taking such a long road trip from Jacksonville to Key West, that Mrs. Garvin would not have to come in and use the restroom.
Unusual, but not conclusive. To prove anything, they've got to go further back in time.
I knew that they checked into the hotel in Key West at 6:18. I know it's about a 3-hour drive from the last toll plaza to Key West. So I went to the Department of Transportation and pulled their videos for that day. And after several hours of looking at cars coming through the toll plaza, we found Mr. Garvin's car. The camera shines right down into the car, and it was clear that only Mr. Garvin was in the car. Mr. Garvin had been lying to us about the whole thing in Key West. Shirley never made it to Key West. Shirley was missing. She was missing from Jacksonville, Florida.
Even so, there's still no hard evidence that Mike Garvin is responsible for his wife's disappearance.
When an individual is giving you a story that you believe is not a true story, you begin to search for a motive.
One of the first places to look for a motive? The couple's computers. And sure enough, Garvin's hard drive turns up a naughty little secret.
Mr. Garvin advertised himself on the internet through personal ads, and he was seeking company of other women.
Sure, I'm glad to do it.
Why don't we retest?
A conversation with his colleagues reveals another shocker.
The Jacksonville agents went to Mr. Garvin's place of employment, the real estate agency that he worked for. No one there knew he was even married.
But evidence of lying and cheating is only part of the puzzle. Garvin was also in financial trouble.
Mr. Garvin was in a bad financial situation. He was bouncing checks. He was taking money from clients to cover checks. He was paying off one credit card balance with a new credit card.
He was living beyond his means. He liked to live the high life. He liked fancy cars. He had a Jaguar. He was having financial trouble.
But Mike Garvin may have seen a quick way out of the hole. As it turns out, his mother-in-law had recently died.
Shirley was an only child. When her parents passed away, they left her a large sum of money, and it was close to $900,000 she inherited.
We are here to remember and celebrate the life of a devoted wife and loving mother, and we will all be the poorer for her absence.
With Mr. Garvin being sole beneficiary, Mr. Garvin became the prime suspect in the disappearance of his wife.
Shirley Garvin is still missing. Where is she? What has he done with her? You don't have evidence, you don't have a crime until you find the body. Police now needed to track where he might be going.
So Garvin secretly gets a GPS transmitter attached to his car. His next move could be his last.
People will often go back to the scene of the crime. When they suspect that police are onto them, they will go back to the scene just to second-guess themselves.
Mike doesn't know it, but he's got a GPS transmitter stuck under his car. Every move he makes, someone's watching.
The GPS tracking device, it sends off a signal that bounces off the satellites. And then through the satellites, we can track the location of the unit that's placed on the car.
He's got to be feeling the pressure of the investigation by now. It's only a matter of time before he slips up. Sure enough, he starts making regular visits to a state park, 30 miles from his home.
Not just to the same state park, but in the same area in the state park. We didn't know Mr. Garvin to be into nature or anything like that. It was a concern. We believed that this was a prime spot that needed to be searched.
Agent Haley searches for a hidden grave. Loose soil and the smell of decay. After 6 long weeks, this could finally be it.
Yeah, this is Haley. I think I found the spot. Come on in the park about a quarter mile and bring the crime scene unit.
Shirley Garvin is no longer a missing person.
She was wrapped up in black plastic garbage bags and wrapped up in duct tape. Removal of the garbage bags revealed that she had been shot once above the left ear and then once directly in the back of the head. Well, after discovery of Mrs. Garvin's body, an arrest affidavit was drawn up and Mr. Garvin was arrested. Mr. Garvin was charged with first-degree murder.
With the evidence stacked against him, Mike Garvin comes clean.
Mike, I'm home.
Mike admits Shirley was never in Key West.
Are you here?
She never even made it out of the house. Bored by his marriage and desperate for cash, he began formulating his plot.
The 2 wounds to Mrs. Garvin's head were at close range.
Based on the autopsy results, Shirley didn't see it coming.
Most likely, Shirley was sound asleep or laying down in bed at the time that she was shot.
The trip to Key West, the missing persons report, the whole thing was a ruse.
Mike Garvin drove to Key West to establish an alibi, to establish what he believed to be a story police would buy. Mike Garvin thought that he could get away with murder, but is now spending the rest of his life in jail, so justice has been served.